Reliant Stadium in Houston is expected to be packed with 70,000 fans for the doubleheader we'll witness today. Quarterfinal action of the Concacaf Gold Cup, and it all gets started with Mexico taking on Costa Rica. Hello again, everybody. Alongside Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. A Mexican team that is a four-time Gold Cup champion at it today, Shep Messing, but a team that really hasn't impressed in this tournament yet.
Steve, that's the pivotal question for this Mexico team, and they have talent. They were woeful in group play. Do they turn over a new leaf in the quarterfinals and come out and play like Mexico can? Well, Costa Rica will have something to say about that.
The winners today advance to Soldier Field for the semifinals on Thursday. Let's take a look at the brackets. Mexico taking on Costa Rica. Later today, it will be Honduras in its game versus Guadeloupe. The winners advance to Chicago. There we see left side of your screen. The United States and Canada have already booked passage to the other semifinal. We're set for soccer at a sold-out Reliant Stadium in Houston. The opening kickoff starting lineups are coming up next.
At the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, we test athletes in the lab. Because we know they'll be tested on the field. Gatorade, the most tested sports drink on the planet.
The starters walk onto the field for today's match. Costa Rica in white. Mexico will wear the traditional green. The Mexicans finished 2-1 in group play. Victories over Cuba and Panama. We get a look at Francisco Rodriguez, part of the back four on defense for Mexico, as they look to make it to the semifinal rounds. And it will be a partisan crowd on hand today here in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, and you would think this crowd would energize the Mexican team, but it hasn't done that so far, Steve. If anything, maybe it's putting too much pressure on their shoulders.
And they cannot put the cart ahead of the horse. It is possible that Mexico, with a win today, would set up a rematch with Honduras, which beat Mexico earlier in group play in this tournament. The traditional handshake. Oswaldo Sanchez, the goalkeeper, #1, getting set. He's got his hands full today. Costa Rica will start out with this lineup. Jose Francisco Porras, 3 in the back, Badia, Cordero, and Drummond. And absent from the midfield, Shep Messing, is the only man who scored a goal for Costa Rica in this tournament, Walter Centeno.
Yeah, and that's a critical blow, but they will hope that Wallace, Nunez, and the others can make that up in the midfield.
Let's take a look at the Mexico starting lineup here. Sanchez is in goal. They play 4 in the back, and there you perhaps see a weakness with Mexico.
Well, if you look at how many quality shots Panama had the last game on goal, I think the two holding midfielders, Torrado Lozano and inexplicably Pardo, out of the lineup, so I would be a little bit worried there.
Bravo and Borghetti are the forwards up top for Hugo Sanchez's squad. The referee for today's match we see is Terry Vaughn of the United States. You lose, you go home. The winner advances to the semifinal round. Here we go. Costa Rica and Mexico underway in the quarterfinals before a jam-packed Reliant Stadium in Houston. Oswaldo Sanchez very early on with his first touch. The 33-year-old keeper, Gold Cup keeper of the tournament back in 2003. The last time Mexico won it all at the Gold Cup.
Steve, you talked about for Costa Rica, their key player, Centeno, out of the lineup. So if anything, I expect Costa Rica really to dig in, stay compact, stay organized, make Mexico try and take it to them.
Centeno, known as a playmaker, he's the only man to score a goal for Costa Rica. 3 times he's put it in the back of the net in this tournament. Costa Rica marches forward on that right side. They're playing Saborio and Wendell Gabriel, the 22-year-old striker, who's getting a start up top. And very early on, Terry Vaughn calls a foul on the far side of the field. Let's get a look. This is Rodriguez who went down.
Yeah, the referee, Terry Vaughn, knows it as well. He wants to blow a quick whistle, heightened passion. These players are going to come out flying. He wants to try and establish his tempo of the game, the referee.
Borghetti making a run down that left side, knocked away by Costa Rica. and played back into the midfield. That's Torrado, who plays it wide to Andres Guardado, the 20-year-old winger who's been a starter for every game. Substitutes possible for Mexico include Batista, Morales. Blanco is available again. Remember, a red card forced him out in the third game of group play. And for Costa Rica, once again, no Centeno, but a possibility off the bench. Their all-time leading goal scorer, number 7, Rolando Fonseca. On the back line, Gabriel Badia plays this forward for Costa Rica. Far side of the field, Jervis Drummond goes up for it, but he commits a foul, and that's Guardado who went down.
Yeah, Guardado is a very good player, but we've seen him spend a lot of time on the ground in this Gold Cup tournament. Not quite Carlos Ruiz-like in terms of how easily he goes down, but he does tend to embellish it a little bit.
That's the first yellow card of the match, and it's issued to Costa Rica. Jervis Drummond, the guilty party on that far side. Set piece is coming up from Mexico here, and Guardado is set to take it. Guardado strikes in the box, punched out with one hand by Porras, played in front by Salcido, and Porras is able to settle it down on a second chance. Sent all the way deep into the Mexican area, and now at the midfield stripe. This is controlled by Mexico as they work it in the midfield. It's played wide to Omar Bravo, but an offside flag went up.
Yeah, nice early movement by Mexico, though, Steve. The whistle had blown. Looks like we'll get a free kick. Let's see if there was a handball. That's what the Mexican players were complaining about.
Andres Nunez, the player in question there. Salcido reacted immediately. So the foul before the flag went up, and this is a free kick for Mexico. One player they miss in this spot is Pavel Pardo. Lofted up top, headed out by Mexico. Rodriguez retreats to control from Mexico. Can't get that by Gabriel, and Costa Rica at least is able to play this out towards the center of the field.
And Steve, the one thing that Mexico has been unable to do in Gold Cup is get an early goal, get some confidence, play, make the other team chase them. Every game has been a scrap.
Badia fights for it for Costa Rica. They play advantage, and he'll clear this deep on the right side. That pass is off the mark, where Saborio was among those making a run. And Mexico controls in its own area now. First half, no score. Super atmosphere today in Houston, Texas. On the near side, it's played by Osorio. His pass in the direction of Medina. Gets by Alberto Medina, and it's cleared away by Badia. Into the midfield, Gabriel plays it. Hugo Sanchez wants his team spaced properly. Batted around in the midfield and played high. Gabriel. As the foul is called against Osorio, this is possession for Costa Rica.
Well, again, Steve, you talked about the electric crowd. We'll look at the foul, trying to win that 50-50 ball. But this 70,000 in the stands, it's electric, but it really does affect the team, Steve. It helps Costa Rica as well, because they're without their star, they feel 70,000 people against them. So it really energizes them to pack it in, play hard. It's like Costa Rica against the world.
This ball is played out, and a corner kick is coming up for Costa Rica. That's the man who has to shoulder some of the scoring load perhaps today, Alvaro Saborio, the 25-year-old striker who appeared in the World Cup last year for Costa Rica, the third leading scorer in the Swiss League. Michael Barantes will take the corner kick. In swinger, and this goes by the wayside. A goal kick coming up for Sanchez.
Yeah, you don't want to squander those set-piece opportunities if you're Costa Rica. You'll have difficulty getting something in a flow of play, but you don't want to waste that opportunity. Just bent it too hard, too far. Nobody there at the far post.
Well, not a good corner kick for Barantes. He's really been strong in this tournament. After Centeno, he's had a lot of the ball for Costa Rica and has been a threat offensively. Battle in the midfield for it. Azo FIFA went up for it. Little back heel in the direction of Gabriel. Costa Rica tries to control this. That's inadvertently off the referee, Terry Vaughn. And now Nunez on the near side plays it. Up top for Gabriel. Wendell Gabriel into open space. And that ball given away. Osorio now Plays this up, and Mexico is on the attack on the near side. Bravo plays it. A shove from behind. No foul is called, or was it against Medina? Terry Vaughan's going to let him play. Saborio now for Costa Rica. He's knocked down at midfield. Foul is called against Mexico. Looks like Saborio wants more than that. And now tempers are flaring at midfield. Terry Vaughan, the referee, reaches into his pocket. There goes the yellow. Now, wait a minute. Who is that against? Barantes is there. So is Wallace. Alamán is there. And Shep, if this is Alamán's, that's his second of the game already. And he would be ejected.
This is getting out of control, Steve. There's the coach. Anytime you have players encroaching all over the referee, this will be a big moment. Terry Vaughan going over to the sideline. He'll confer with his assistant.
The reaction from Costa Rica is that yellow is in the direction of Alamán. And if so, they're going to play shorthanded. Now, these players aren't giving Vaughan and his assistants much space here.
I didn't see any contact by Alamán in that fray.
Might he have said the magic word then?
I saw him coming in, barking, but even then, that would be ludicrous. Let's wait for the decision.
Here's Vaughan. That's a red. It is against Alamán, and he's been kicked out of the game. And Costa Rica can't believe it.
I'll tell you what, Steve Cangelosi, that's horrific in terms of officiating. I'll tell you why. I'll give Terry Vaughan only one slight benefit of the doubt. I saw Alamán come in to argue. Maybe he spit at him. That'd be the only justification for a second yellow. You do not give a player a second yellow, a red, toss him out of the game for dissent. There were players charging. I didn't see any contact. Here was the foul. Saborio and his teammates thought that should have warranted a yellow card.
He was brought down by Magallon, and there is Alan Alamán, the 23-year-old midfielder who's been kicked out of this game in the 43rd minute of play. A major development. Costa Rica, already without its best player and team leader, Walter Centeno, now has to play the four-time Gold Cup champions shorthanded. Late first half.
Again, Steve, Alamán obviously had words for Terry Vaughan. I don't care what he said, that's inexcusable. The benefit of the doubt, we don't know. If he spit at him, he's out. I mean, that's the only 1% benefit of the doubt I'd give Terry Vaughan, but this game has just changed dramatically.
Drummond on a free kick. Edge of the box. Headed back and forth, and now it comes back towards midfield where Bravo headed it down, and Mexico tries to rush forward on the right side. That's Torrado, who seemed to be tripped up, but we play on, and Jervis Drummond plays it towards the midfield. Borghetti brings it down for Mexico and plays it back. Major development in the early going here in Houston. Headed forward by Harold Wallace. Throw in from Mexico as this is played. Far side of the field. Now Torrado has it.
You play a man up, Steve. You got to spread the field and play the ball quickly.
Osorio. Ricardo Osorio. Right back. Tries to cross. Knocked away. 4 minutes of added time here because of all the delays. 4 minutes for Costa Rica to go inside and get its head together.
This game, Steve's going to be a handful to officiate now.
From that look, it appeared that Alamán said something and Vaughan reacted immediately.
Now that's ludicrous. If there's physical contact, fine. But you don't yell a card a player when he's got one for dissent.
Torrado for Mexico in this scoreless match. Osorio now. Plays it wide for Medina. Osorio back from Magallon. It was his foul that precipitated that entire exchange in the midfield. Rodriguez plays it for Salcido. Carlos Salcido, the left back, into open space for Torrado. The partisan Mexican crowd wants to see this team take advantage now. of the extra man. Osorio lofts it forward. That's deflected, though, and cleared away. Nicely done by Badia. Hernan Medford has his work cut out.
Now he's in disbelief, and if you're Mexico right now, Steve, you don't have to get a goal right now. Don't make a mistake. Get in the locker room. Figure it out tactically how you want to play. You could see, there's Drummond. They're digging in and fighting.
That ball won by Salcido into the box. Borghetti was there. Chipped away. And the whistle blows. Golden opportunity for Hugo Sanchez's team.
Yeah, I kept talking because I was sure they were going to call a foul. Drummond got pummeled from behind. That's what Porras is talking about. What, are you kidding me?
Porras was as vocal as anyone after Alemán was kicked out of the game. Here's the corner for Mexico. Borghetti down low. They play it short. To the box, headed away by Gabriel. Bravo plays it forward. Still loose. Well, Terry Vaughan's now letting them play. Finally now, a whistle blows as Bravo fought forward on the near side. Now let's get another look.
Well, I talked about the reaction in Costa Rica. When you get a player sent out like that and you think it's so blatantly unfair, this is how you're going to play. They're getting stuck in. They're angry. They're going to fight.
That was Salcido on the near side of the field. Now, he's a left back, but he does a lot of freelancing because he's that good with the ball. And now he's down.
Yeah, tough play because he really, Badia got most of the ball, but anytime you leave your feet and turn the studs up, you create danger.
Still a scoreless game. They tend to Salcido on the near side of the field. And you get the feeling Terry Vaughan is in for a long, interesting afternoon with what's transpired already here in the first half.
Well, the important thing, we're late in stoppage time, and I don't remember Mexico really creating a quality chance on goal.
Drummond plays this forward for Harold Wallace now. Wallace up top. Headed high by Saborio, knocked back by Mexico. In the midfield, Costa Rica will play this down. Nunez will toss in on the near side of the field. Costa Rica did not consider itself an underdog coming into today's game. Remember the words of Hernan Medford early. We can win it all. He felt his team was that good. Nunez moves forward just a bit more, throwing a bit deeper as we play on in this scoreless first half. Maybe a final chance for Costa Rica here. Throw into the top of the box. Saborio brings it down, tries to cross, knocked away. Time for a corner kick. Nunez will take it on what might be the final strike of the first half. No, this is deep. They're going to say it's a throw-in. Now we'll get neither. Terry Vaughan has blown the whistle and he's ended the first half. That'll do it. No score. Interesting developments here in Houston. Our halftime coverage kicks off in just a few moments.
Work like a pro. Play like a pro. Tackle tough jobs. Dominate the game. Destroy the competition. Go professional. Choose Makita.
Scoreless game at halftime between Mexico and Costa Rica. Welcome back to our coverage of the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup with Shep Messing. I'm Steve Cangelosi. Let's check out the first half highlights so far.
First half highlights 70,000 people and controversy. Porras makes the first big play of the game. Mexico wanted a handball against Nunez right here. Didn't get the call.
Salcido took the shot. Nunez got a piece of it, and then the big development. A yellow card is issued to Alan Alemán. This is late in the first half. Some discussion on the sidelines, and yes, double yellow, red card. Costa Rica shorthanded. So the Alamon red card puts Costa Rica in a difficult spot. If you're Hernan Medford now, what are you telling your team at halftime, Shep?
Well, I think he's getting them fired up that they got robbed. Let's circle the wagons. Let's stay compact. We can prevent Mexico from scoring. And by the same token, let's always look for the counterattack. Saborio up top, defend first, and then quick outlet ball.
Staying aggressive. Sometimes in the course of a 90-minute game, these calls have a tendency to even out. We'll see whether or not that's the case. The second half kickoff is just moments away at Reliant Stadium in Houston.
The screenings that happen here might be fun or dramatic, but it's not real life. There's another screening that is real life, and it could save your life. It's a screening test for colorectal cancer, the second leading cancer killer of men and women. Screening finds precancerous polyps so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. I got screened. Now it's your turn, so you can stick around and enjoy the show.
If you're 50 or older, get screened for colorectal cancer.
Start of the second half, moments away. Mexico begins with a man advantage. Hugo Sanchez's team trying to make it to the semifinals, as is Costa Rica. And we're underway. Mexico in green, moving from right to left on your screen. There's a substitution for Costa Rica now to start the second half of play. Wendell Gabriel started, but he's come out of the match. And checking in for Costa Rica is number 12, Leonardo Gonzalez, the 26-year-old, more defensive-minded player.
That's exactly why that substitution was made, Steve. Costa Rica, they're down a man, but they're really hanging in this game. Mexico hasn't had a quality shot, so take out Gabriel, more of an attacking player, put in the fresh midfield defensive legs. They're going to make this game difficult. If they could get something on the counter with Saborio, terrific. If not, they're going to just keep fighting.
And by keep fighting, you mean they'd be content to play 45 minutes and possibly 30 more minutes of overtime of a scoreless game.
Absolutely. Right now, if you give Costa Rica the chance, you want to go to penalty kicks, they'll all put their hands in the air and say yes.
This is the knockout phase of the tournament. If it's tied after regulation, 2 15-minute overtime sessions, no golden goal to end it. It is not sudden death. And if it's still tied after that, they go to penalty kicks.
If you're Mexico, Steve, we talked about it before, you're a man up, spread the field, play the ball quickly, make runs off the ball. Don't dribble into traffic. That's negating the man advantage you have.
Into open space, but given away by Costa Rica. And Tirado plays this back, and now marching forward is Osorio. He's on the ball for Mexico and plays it forward. Off the head of Borghetti. Tirado plays it into open space. Loose! And it's knocked away by Nunez, who's back. Azofifa plays this forward off the head. Good pace to the second half if we start off now.
It also affords Mexico the opportunity to get both their outside backs attacking. They only have to worry about Saborio. So Osorio, Salcido, they can get forward from Mexico, find some room, and attack the flanks.
All the way back on the Mexican back line. This is played by Magallon. Far side, Osorio has it. Now to Medina. Medina tries to cross it. Now skies one high on a second touch. Jose Porras has that in goal.
We talked, Steve, about the lack of scoring opportunities. Borghetti has rarely touched the ball. He's their big target player. They've got to find him to feet, find him in the air.
The veteran Porras has been the goalkeeper for Costa Rica all throughout this tournament, starting his 4th straight game. And facing a Mexico team that'll have a man advantage, maybe for the rest of this match. You get the feeling he's going to have to come up big. He's played well in this tournament, the 36-year-old. Toss in by Badia from the far side of the field. Chested down, controlled by Costa Rica as it's sent high. But Rodriguez heads that back for Mexico. Osorio gives it up. Barantes is on the ball. But a giveaway, and it's taken by Mexico. Lozano plays this forward. Guardado across for Carlos Salcido. Salcido marches forward, left side. Slows the attack and gives to Guardado. Alan Alaman ejected from the game late first half for Costa Rica. Magallon plays it deep. Medina back for Osorio. Mexico possessing the ball. Lozano now. Plays it up top. Omar Bravo. For Osorio. Little chip over the top. That's Medina making a run, but that's too far.
Now that's a low percentage ball, though, by Medina. We see white shirts all on the defensive side of the ball for Costa Rica. So for Mexico, Steve, they've got to be sharper, crisper, more incisive, spread the field, and play quicker.
Hernan Medford and his staff looking on. He's played in big games for Costa Rica, like the 1990 World Cup, team that made the knockout phase in Italy that year. Cleared away by Salcido, and this will be a throw-in for Costa Rica, which I gather would like to slow the pace of this game a little bit.
There's no question. Costa Rica wants to keep it compact, try and send the ball when they win it over the top or into space for Saborio to run onto.
Badia tosses it deep. In the corner. Knocked away by Mexico as they look to come out with it now. And indeed they will. Lozano on the ball. Guardado's making a run down the left side. Now it's laid off for Salcido. Salcido pushes forward. Tried to get it to Guardado. Ball deflects. Making a run for Mexico was Bravo. Now a whistle on the play. This will be a free kick for Mexico in a pretty dangerous spot. Just about 3 yards outside the box.
Here's Drummond just coming in a little bit late. I don't know where the foul is. But it is what Terry Vaughn says it is. Great spot for a free kick.
I said 3 yards away from the box. It's a little bit farther than that. Now as we see the ball placed down, Lozano puts it down. This is where Mexico misses Pavel Pardo, their midfielder, who takes many of the set pieces. He's not playing due to caution. Lozano strikes. Porras is there to make the stop.
That's a good free kick. Bends it over the wall. Goalkeepers love that. It makes them look good, and he knew he had it all the way.
Jose Francisco Porras. The count, they call him El Conde. Cleared away by Badia. Into open space. Knocked away. Leonardo Gonzalez went up for it. An offside flag went up. Mexico now back the other way. Medina puts the brakes on to shake loose of Leonardo Gonzalez and gives to Osorio. Osorio. Little stutter step. Leaves for Medina. The attack builds on that left side. Medina lays it back now. Lozano to the near side. Guardado is on the ball. He's arguing handball. It's taken away by Costa Rica. We play on. Giveaway by Costa Rica now. Salcido has some room. Left side. Blast! Oh, what a save by Porras! Bravo chases it down. Mexico still keeps this attack alive. Osorio. Shot. Softly headed away. This will be a corner kick.
You said it earlier in the half that this man, Steve Porras, would have to come up big. That was a great instep drive by Salcido. That was ticketed for the far post. Great goalkeeping.
They say that skimmed off Mexico, Shep. No corner. It was a goal kick, so we come back the other way, and now there's a whistle. Substitution is made for Mexico, 76th minute. Blanco is making his first appearance in the Gold Cup since the second game that Mexico played. He checks in for number 6, Torrado.
Now, I'm not a big fan of Blanco, but he's a player that can turn a game around with a moment of magic. And that's what Mexico needs right now, Steve, because there is no quit in this team from Costa Rica.
Mexico controls in the midfield. Scoreless game in the 77th minute of play. Costa Rica has held on to this point, playing a man down since the 43rd minute. This is Blanco on the ball, off the right foot, knocked away. Cleared out by Costa Rica, but Guardado, the speedy player on the flank, is able to collect and give to Rodriguez. Nice little pass as Mexico starts right back up again with Blanco on the ball. Lozano. Little one touch by Osorio now, and he starts to make a run. Foul is called. Medina was knocked down on the far side. They'll say this is against Mexico, though.
I think that's actually not a bad call. They're going to say the ball was just played out.
And they let the contact go as Medina went down. Guardado, near side to Salcido. Salcido plays it to the middle. Blanco, little chip off the left foot, but right to Azafifa. Cleared away by Costa Rica. In the midfield now. Saborio lays it back. Played forward by Barantes, looking for Saborio. Tries to collect. Now a whistle blows, and Saborio is down. This will be a free kick coming up for Costa Rica as the foul was called against Mexico.
Yeah, that's a real high foot. That's what Costa Rica wants, catch their breath. It's very hard to defend for an entire game and play a man down. So catch a break, get a set piece.
Ball is placed down about 40 yards from goal. Magallon committed the foul. Azafifa, the 22-year-old midfielder, placed it down. Let's see who's going to strike it. Jervis Drummond is there as well in this scoreless match. There has been a sense of anticipation ever since Alemán was kicked out of the game. Headed towards goal, stopped in front. Sanchez made a stop, and he went up with one hand. That's the best opportunity of the day for Costa Rica. Victor Cordero was there.
I think it hit the crossbar. Cordero, let's watch the header. Snap header. Oh, wow. Sanchez couldn't touch it, but the crossbar did.
We're in added time now, and still no score. Played forward by Costa Rica. Azafifa back to his goalkeeper, Porras, who's been terrific so far. Over the midfield stripe. Let's see if Costa Rica gets a foul call. Yes, but they're going to play advantage. Barantes pushes forward. Now it's cleared away by Magallon. In the midfield. Far side, Medina gives it away. Saborio has it. Alvaro Saborio marches through two different defenders. Gets knocked down, but Mexico will take possession of the ball.
Steve, when you have a game like this and there's 70,000 people in the house, the drama becomes unbearable. The ebb and flow of the game. Salcido had the best opportunity of the game for Mexico. Cordero with the header off the crossbar. Now Saborio down on the ground.
Ball was intentionally played out. He's run hard for 90 minutes, and they need his offensive skill, but Terry Vaughn gives him a hand. Saborio toughs it out for now. Let's get another look at how he went down.
I think he really just caught the left shoulder, the left arm of Lozano going for the ball. He wants the call, didn't get it, knocked the wind out of him.
We are in added time. Once again, if the game remains tied, we play two 15-minute extra sessions. No golden goal. It is not sudden death overtime. And if it's still tied after those two 15-minute periods, then penalty kicks will decide who goes to the semifinals.
The players, Steve, are thinking about it, but you've got to put it out of your mind. You start thinking about it, you make one mistake, and all of a sudden you're not going to penalty kicks.
Porras has it. Borghetti makes a mild run, and Jose Porras picks it up. We get a look at Osorio. Much of the attack has gone through him today on that right side. Porras lets it fly. We're in the 3rd minute of added time. Magallon plays it back. Sanchez has it. Omar Sanchez lets it fly. Kicked out by Cordero. Osorio has it for Mexico now. Into open space, Blanco from Medina. His cross, too far for anybody to get to, but Guardado will chase it down before it goes out. Now Guardado tries to cross it off the left foot. Instead, plays it back. Salcido plays it forward. Blanco with a drive, save made by Porras! Blanco with the game on his foot, and Porras was there.
This is the skill of Blanco. Touches it up with the left foot, cracks it with the right foot. That is great skill, and that's textbook goalkeeping.
Free kick coming up, Mexico. Blanco's made a difference. Here's a cross in front. Again, Porras is there, punches it out. Kept alive by Mexico as Bravo fights for it. Nunez is there to defend. Andres Nunez. Did he play it out off Mexico? Yes, he did. A job well done. No, now they're going to say, yep, it'll be Costa Rica ball.
Yeah, but finally, Steve, a little bit better energy by this team from Mexico. Costa Rica fighting, hanging on. That Cordero header off the crossbar has been their best chance.
Saborio went down again. Here's a chance now. Leonardo Gonzalez racing forward for Costa Rica. Osorio has the big guy on his tail and got rid of it. Scoreless game. Mexico pushes forward now. Salcido to Guardado.
Remember how long Costa Rica has been playing with a man down, Steve. Look for tired legs. Tired legs sometimes make a mistake.
Blanco into open space. Borghetti, but a flag went up. Mexico's all-time goal-scoring leader was a step ahead of the field in a big spot.
I don't know what the referee's assistant saw. I didn't see it.
Terry Vaughn calls time here. We're bracing for two 15-minute overtime sessions. Once again, if a goal is scored, the match does not end in sudden death fashion. They'll play 15, blow a whistle, switch sides, play 15 more. And then if we're still tied after that, penalty kicks will decide who goes to the semifinals Thursday in Chicago to take on the winner of the game later today between Honduras and Guadeloupe. Terry Vaughn gives us the signal, and we are underway. Substitutions from Mexico to tell you about. Batista has come in for Bravo. For Costa Rica, Fonseca for Wallace. Lozano played that forward. This is Rolando Fonseca, number 7, on the ball now. No player has scored more for Costa Rica and their national team than he. A super effort by Costa Rica to get the game to this stage. They've been shorthanded since the game's 43rd minute.
Now, they've played Costa Rica superbly, Steve. Mexico really hasn't been able to take advantage playing a man up.
That is Batista, who came in as a very late sub. Mexico on the attack now. Medina plays this forward. This is Blanco trying to shake loose into open space. Padilla guided it safely to Porras. Long throw out, left side, headed forward by Leonardo Gonzalez. He comes together with Batista now. Adolfo Batista tries to shake loose, plays this back for Osorio, and Batista is down. Adolfo Batista holding what appears to be an injury to the right knee in this exchange with Leonardo now.
That's Saborio who comes in late. The ball had squirted away. Saborio catches him.
Medina. Left side. Guardado. Cross. Knocked away by Cordero. Whistle blows. They're going to call a foul in the box. Cordero went down to break that up, and he was hit, I believe, by Borghetti from behind.
Yeah, he'll still stay down, Cordero. Milk the clock a little bit. We talked about tired legs. There's the contact from behind. You mentioned, Steve, no sudden death overtime. But I tell you what, the way these teams have played, they surely feel a goal will win it. So if you're Costa Rica, you've got to dig in. They'd love to go to penalty kicks. Mexico, they've got to pick up the pace. They do not want to go to a penalty kick shootout.
And Porras has built a lot of confidence in the course of this match. Sanchez really, I believe, has been tested just once on that glancing header at the side of goal. In the second half, we play on. Mexico fights for it. Lozano plays to Blanco. Blanco off the left foot. Wide to Batista, who brings it down. Batista, cross in front. Headed down, goal! Jared Borghetti breaks the scoreless tie. With the game in its 97th minute, Mexico finally has a lead.
This is incredible. This is 70,000 people celebrating. You could feel the sigh of relief. I want to see if he's onside. Yes, that's a good call. The cross from the right. We've talked about Borghetti all alone, unmarked. Porras couldn't come out. Wow. Great left-footed drive into the box. Borghetti, like all great strikers, eludes his mark and puts it away.
He scored really in the exact same fashion against Cuba earlier in this tournament. A header, not with a lot of velocity. He makes it look effortless, and that's the beauty of Borghetti. Now Costa Rica shorthanded needs a goal. We're in the first overtime. Guardado, nice move to shake loose. Plays this wide. Medina making a run. Alberto Medina, cross in front. Knocked away by Porras. Partially cleared. Osorio with a drive. Oh, what a save by Porras. He got up with one hand.
Spectacular goalkeeping by that man Porras. That's a hard shot. He's retreating. Textbook style. Opposite hand over. Follows it with his eyes over the crossbar.
Osorio with a blistering shot. Now what do we have here? This is Azofifa, who was shown a red card apparently. Now Azofifa had a yellow shown and a red, and it appears he's telling Fonseca, that's my first yellow card. What gives?
We mentioned earlier in the game, Steve, that Terry Vaughn might have lost control. I never thought there should have been an early ejection. Here it is. Here's the fracas. There's Terry Vaughn, holds up a yellow. He must think it's his second because he's going to go bang, red card. That's not true.
Well, we don't have Azofifa for an earlier yellow card, so our guess is he's correct, that it is his first. Let's see how this is sorted out, though. Hernan Medford continues to look on with disbelief. Now remember, Costa Rica's already been shorthanded since the game's 43rd minute. Azofifa's not going anywhere just yet.
Yeah, usually I would not rely on what a player remembers, but we've been calling the game. There was no previous yellow card to Azofifa.
All right, it seems like we're ready to get underway. Azofifa is still on the field, so it appears he has not been ejected, that the red card was mistakenly thrown out. Mexico leads by 1, and they possess the ball. Medina comes together with Fonseca. Free kick coming up for Mexico as the foul was called against Costa Rica. Guardado and Medina at the edge of the box. Borghetti with the lone goal of the match in this extra time session. Medina, free kick, headed out by Jervis Drummond and brought down by Mexico. Guardado. Deflected away by Costa Rica. A chance on a counter. Azofifa plays this forward. Saborio is making a run, but Osorio takes it away.
Well, finally, Steve Cangelosi, Mexico playing a little bit better. It took an odd bunch of circumstances, a bad red card that made them play up a man for most of this game. finally got the goal in extra time, and now they're just knocking the ball around.
If this score holds, this game is going to fit a pattern. Mexico wins and really didn't overly impress anybody. We've said that twice already before today in this tournament. Osorio plays it forward. Badia retreats for Costa Rica, and Osorio is down. Camacho has come on off the bench for Costa Rica. They need fresh legs. Michael Barantes is out. Batista tries to play it forward. Chance now for Camacho as he makes a run down the left side. He is not fleet of foot, runs right smack into Magallon. Did force the foul, though.
Yeah, at least he's bringing a little bit of energy to Costa Rica. Magallon really, by turning his back, that's an obstruction call. Sanchez taking nothing for granted, wants to make sure everybody's marked up, especially number 19, Saborio.
Free kick, Azofifa will take it. Saborio. Loose at the edge of the box, it's knocked away. Let's see who it went off. Badia and Saborio were trying to get on the other end of it. A player is down for Mexico. Now Vaughn is going over to talk with his assistant, and he's reaching into his pocket again. That's a red card for Saborio. He's done.
I didn't see a thing.
I'm not sure Vaughn did either, because he went over to talk with his own assistant, and it was then that he pulled out the red card.
I didn't see any contact, Steve. Free kick was played to the far post. Saborio wasn't even in the play.
Francisco Rodriguez went down. Now we stay with it.
There
That's
it is.
where Rodriguez goes down.
Yeah, Terry Vaughn just went from having a bad game to having a nightmare.
Medford can't believe it. Now his team plays two men down. They trail by a goal. The first overtime or extra time comes to an end.
You talk about flopping, embellishing. That's the player that should have gotten a card. You got to be kidding me.
Costa Rica has 15 minutes to score a goal, and they have to do it playing down 2. We get the signal from Vaughn, and here we go.
You're right, though, Steve. Terry Vaughn went over to confer with his referee's assistant. He didn't see it. Well, I'll tell you what, he should no longer take the word of his assistant on the sideline.
Camacho went down. That's a big foul by Magallon. Free kicks like this are now priceless for Costa Rica with the position they've been placed in.
You're right. Back to the game. Down 2 men. Doesn't matter. All Costa Rica is hunting for is that one opportunity on goal.
Fonseca will line it up. Bottom line, this is still a 1-goal game. Rolando Fonseca set to strike. Costa Rica outmanned in the box. Headed wide of goal.
That's Borghetti, the Capitan. That's why he's the captain. Gets over to the near post. That was going on goal. Borghetti puts it out for the corner.
Camacho made his run. Knocked out again by Mexico. Here's another corner kick coming up. They're coming in rapid fire. Camacho off his head and just knocks it out, and this will be a throw-in coming up for Mexico now. What an epic this game has turned into. Blanco tosses in. Mexico up 2. Men on the field, that is. Up 1 on the scoreboard. And now trying to kill the rest of this game. Blanco for Borghetti. Off the back of his heel. Foul called against Costa Rica, and more tempers are flaring now after Borghetti went down.
Well, again, Steve, we've talked about the 70,000 people here packing the stadium, and that magnifies everything. Every decision, every goal, every tackle, every shot, that's a flop.
Medford just gave a look on the bench as if to say they're not going to let us try to win this game.
Yeah, that was an absolute flop that, according to FIFA, that should be a yellow card to Borghetti.
Porras has been terrific today. Here's a free kick, Blanco. 5-man wall in front of Porras. Running start for Blanco. Cracks it off the wall.
And I'm going to get off the refereeing, but that's the last one. That's got to be a yellow card off someone in the wall. All 5 players encroached were about 5 yards away by the time Blanco struck the ball.
Blanco seemed to agree. Salcido pressuring Camacho. Played deep by Nunez. And into some open space for Costa Rica. They're outmanned. This is a difficult task for them. Azofifa plays it at the top of the box. Headed away. Gonzalez pushed forward. Sanchez plays it off the chest. Has to get rid of it now as pressure is applied by Leonardo Gonzalez. Salcido now into open space. Mexico marches forward. Salcido over the midfield stripe to Guardado. Guardado, cross. Batista trying to get on it. This is a live ball as Blanco plays it. Tries to settle it down. Did it come out over the goal line? Yes, it did.
Guardado has been active. Batista with the header. Watch Blanco corrals it and then lets it get out.
Jervis Drummond plays it across. Costa Rica down 1, needs a goal to stay alive in this Gold Cup. Borghetti lays it off for Batista now. Batista over the top. Borghetti making a run. Guardado with a crack. Drummond came together with another Mexican player. Borghetti, let's see how this blew up.
I like the play of Drummond. He gets over there, takes the right angle, knocks it out for the corner.
Guardado corner. One would think he'll play it short. Mexico can play the possession game here very well, up 2 men. No, it's driven into the box, deflected over the crossbar.
That's a well-taken corner kick. The glancing header at the near post just skims over the crossbar.
Rodriguez on the receiving end of that. In the midfield, Azofifa heads it forward. Skied high, Camacho for Fonseca. That's off a hand in the midfield. This will be possession for Costa Rica. It went off Batista.
And you mentioned it before, Steve. Forget the calls, forget the ejections. This is a 1-goal game. That's all that matters for right now. For me, this is a pretty heroic effort by Costa Rica, playing shorthanded.
Everyone except Drummond and Azofifa up. Azofifa into the box. Sanchez has it in traffic.
That's good goalkeeping. Cool, calm, collected, decisive. Now Mexico looking for another one.
Medina running down the right side. Puts the brakes on and gives to Batista. Cross by Batista. Looking for Blanco. Oh, he's knocked down by Camacho. Blanco is down, and that's another red. This is a straight red card. Camacho just leveled Blanco. And the longtime Mexican star is down. A third Costa Rican player is ejected from this game. And with approximately a minute to go, I'm not sure Camacho didn't know exactly what he was doing.
Steve, I think you're absolutely right. There's Blanco. I think that's a good call. That's a straight red card. Terry Vaughn gets this one right, and I agree with you. Camacho feels his country, his team has been robbed. He's going to take it out on Blanco.
It's a free kick for Mexico. Porras is just trying to keep slim hope alive here. Only a minute has been added. Costa Rica needs to stop this and then march right down the field. That's off woodwork, actually. That nearly sealed it. Costa Rica needs to kick this ball downfield and score right now, or their Gold Cup is over.
That's a good-looking free kick. Skims off the near post, upper 90. Just didn't not have enough dip to get in. Well-taken free kick. Not really close.
In the midfield. Seconds remaining, perhaps. Nunez goes up for it. Mexico pushes forward. Drummond looking for Leonardo. Mexico wins the ball and wins the game. It is over. 1-0 is your final at Reliant Stadium. Terry Vaughn kicking 3 Costa Rican players out of the game. When all is said and done, Mexico marches on to the semifinals. The specifics of this one will be talked about for days, I'm sure, and in Costa Rica for a long time. Final score, Mexico 1-0. We're back in a moment.
Through the Football for Hope movement, FIFA is committed to protecting children and their rights, furthering social integration, and peace and reconciliation. Football for Hope champions health promotion and anti-discrimination. FIFA is firmly committed to using football to resolve some of the most pressing social challenges of our time. Football can change the world.
The first quarterfinal of the day is in the books in Houston, Texas. Mexico holds on for a 1-0 victory over Costa Rica. Welcome back to our coverage of the Gold Cup along with Shep Messing. I'm Steve Cangelosi. 3 red cards. Terry Vaughn even mistakenly took a 4th out of his pocket at one point in the match. This was wild, and Costa Rica leaves this stadium feeling it has every right to be upset.
Well, Steve, I have to like the way Costa Rica performed. If you're Mexico, I mean, they survived. That's all you can really say. Costa Rica can leave holding their heads up proud.
Let's take a look at the highlights. A wild one, really, from start to finish.
First half highlights, and we have a controversial play.
And this has everybody's attention at Reliant Stadium. Alamon picks up a 2nd yellow card, apparently for dissent. Now, Terry Vaughn went over the sidelines to check with his officials. The red card, and just like that, Costa Rica is shorthanded.
Well, second half, Mexico with a free kick. Porras with a good save. Now Salcido gets forward, whips it with the left. That's a big-time save. The other way, Padilla with the header, and that gets crossbar.
And still, we are scoreless. Here's Salcido lofting one into the box. Blanco cracks it, and Porras was there.
Yeah, Porras, a tremendous save. Now we get into extra time. Batista, Borghetti, that's the first goal. Borghetti sails in the air, nods it home.
It came in the 97th minute of play, and then it all comes apart. Red card there for Saborio. Hernan Medford's team down 2 men at that point, and then Camacho.
Yeah, Camacho, the game is over. That's a message, Sal. Red card, Borghetti pats him on the shoulder. Crossbar, but the game ends 1-0, Mexico over Costa Rica.
So now Mexico advances to the semifinal round and possibly a rematch with Honduras that beat Mexico in group play. Yes, they play the winner of the quarterfinal that's coming up before the fans in Houston as Guadeloupe, the newcomer to the Gold Cup, takes on Honduras, which reached the final of this tournament way back in 1991. So at least one more game for Mexico. Really, Shep, have they brought their A game to this tournament yet, though?
Steve, it's been their C game, but they're happy to be in the semifinals. I still think they can play well.
We hope you've enjoyed once again our coverage of Concacaf Gold Cup 2007 in the quarterfinals at Reliant Stadium before a packed house, 70,000 strong. Mexico beats Costa Rica 1-0. For Shep Messing, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Thanks for joining us.